Wow, that was perfectly timed.
That was.
Teach me to be a smartass. Hi, everybody. Kristoff N here with From One Side to the Other. We got the bishop in the corner.
Hi. No Jesus.
That sounds so familiar for some reason. Yeah, no Jesus.
Wow, that was perfectly timed.
I was waiting for it. Anyway, though, yeah, it is the day before. So it's it's the day before Halloween, right?
Yes.
So that means it's the eve of All Hallows Eve,
Yes.
or All Saints Day, depending on what branch you are, so to speak. Tonight, first of all,
It's gonna be a good
we're
day.
back. This is like the first video. This is the first stream we've probably done this month. Actually, pointing the camera at us. We've been playing tabletop stuff all month long. People don't like it.
The
I
tabletop
get
stuff?
I get complaints about not seeing me. They want to see the person talking, apparently. And it's like, well, I'm glad somebody thinks I'm attractive, I guess.
Maybe we'll have to try to do a 2-camera setup where we have just like you.
Do we
John.
even have 2 cameras?
We do.
Eh,
I'd have to learn how to figure it out, but yeah.
questions for later. Anyway, so tonight we were going to celebrate Halloween with hot sauce and the bishop made egg salad sandwiches, and the you know what ticks me off the most is this was his idea.
It was.
He was the one that wanted to talk about Halloween through the generations. And watch.
He'll be here.
Yeah, sometime after GTA 6 comes out. Anyway, though.
He's always late.
Hello, Mr. Bishop. I did send everybody a link, right? Hold on. Sorry, folks. Just making sure that, everything is in order.
Yeah, I got
Yeah. Anyway, though.
2 people watching.
Yeah.
Kind of low.
Yeah, it is kind of odd. Usually people, I don't know. But anyway, we'll start talking. And it's annoying because I had this whole plan set up. Because what I'm going to start talking about is probably going to turn into a rant and make everybody hate me. And my plan was, first we'd have the hot sauces so everyone feels bad for me. But it's okay, because now I'm going to tick all of you off. And then I'm going to have hot sauce and make you feel bad. Although you'll probably be sitting there, he deserves it after what he said. Okay, are you ready, folks? Everyone gather your torches and pitchforks. Hey, guy in the bushes, get ready. We haven't mentioned him in a while now that I think about it. But anyway, so Halloween is undeniably one of the most complex and varied thing on Earth. Last year we talked about how lots of different cultures have a fall festival or a fall celebration, and they all kind of melded together and evolved into what we call Halloween today. Now, that is true. However, a vast majority of what we know as Halloween is mostly from Western Europe. Specifically, it comes from our dear friends, who we always talk about this month, the various Druidic tribes, the Celts, the Wiccans, and so on and so on. And I'm kind of glad Jesus isn't here, because what I'm about to say, he would probably try to interject in and be annoying. No, okay, so here's the thing. I love the study of history. And even though I'm an atheist, not an anti-theist, an atheist, there's a difference, there's a huge difference. I also love the study of theology, the study of religions. And here's the problem. You cannot talk about the origins of what we today call Halloween, the Western European Halloween, without some obnoxious person, who's not here right now, jetting in and complaining or crying about how Christians stole Halloween, they stole Christmas, they stole Easter. Okay, look, I'm just going to piss everybody off right now and step on everyone's toes. So get ready, Bishop. Time me. Here comes the rant.
Timing the rant.
The only reason we have any information about Easter, Christmas, Halloween, or any of that stuff is because of the Christians. Look, here's the truth of the matter. The various tribes of Europe did not record their own histories. The stories about how, Christians destroyed all their monuments. There was conflict, I'll give you that. But it was not on the scale that they paint. The Easter Island, for example, everyone talks about the Easter Island scrolls. There's no proof that there were any scrolls there to begin with. They found something in a cave and they destroyed it, claiming that it was blasphemous and heretical. The whole title, Easter Island Scrolls, was literally put on by National Geographic. We don't know what they found in those caves, but whatever it was, they deemed it worthy of being destroyed. And I would say that was wrong, because all history has some kind of value. Even Mein Kampf can teach you something. Bad things, but teach you things. Now, the reason that Halloween specifically ticks me off so much is everyone gets it backwards. See, after Christianity migrated over from the crumbling Roman Empire at the turn of the millennium, there was a growing period, let's put it that way. And yes, there was conflict. Notoriously, we can talk about the Anglo-Saxon era, which was basically pagans and Christians butting heads. But here's the thing. From that, we got a specific terminology, one that was lost for a long time and actually got corrupted, but we'll get to that later. It was known as a heathen. Now, we've mentioned them before. We mentioned them last year. Heathen basically means not Christian friend. Because, and this might blow some people's mind, there were a lot of tribes who lived in Western Europe when the Christians came. And some of them were actually friendly and not hostile. More of the hostile people was up north in what we call Scandinavia, the Norse people. They were much more eager to butt heads and fight. A lot of the actual peoples of what we call like the United Kingdoms today, the Celts, the Wiccans, and so on, no, they were cool. They were friends for three very good reasons. One, to the north, you had the Norse, who literally lived by pillaging and raiding their neighbors. Over to the east, you had the crumbling Roman Empire that wasn't worth a damn anymore. And past them, you had the tribes of Islam, another society that basically lived by pillaging and raiding and making war. And beyond that, farther east, you had the Chinese Empire, who had their own problems dealing with the Mongolians. All the things in the world were bad, basically. And you had these two little factions, the pagans, the Druids, and you had the newly formed Christians, many of whom were actually refugees fleeing from Rome. And because of the fact that they literally had enemies on every side of them, they did something profound for the time, something that no one else had the idea to do, ever. They literally looked at each other and said, "Would you like to be my friend?" And for hundreds of years, the Harthans and the Christians worked together. Most of those big, beautiful castles and cathedrals, they were very fond of the cathedrals and the temples and stuff like that. Yeah, guess who built them? The fucking Harthans. The Harthans were outdoorsy survivalists. They were the ones who were used to long, hard hours. Christians were industrial. They built towns and houses and structures and stuff like that. And so they basically just worked together. Fun little side note. Almost every castle, every church, including like, Notre Dame and things like that, you'll oddly find these random gargoyles, or grotesques as they were sometimes called, or even depictions of devils.
The grotesques.
You know why? Those were put in by the Harthans. And a lot of people say, oh, well, the Harthans, they sneakily did it. It was them making fun of the Christians. No, wrong, sorry. It was actually the Christians who said, hey, you know what, dude? you guys are really helping us out building, with all this stuff. You're what do you call him? Woden? He's a big tough guy with horns and antlers, right? No, don't, hey, Brother Lumpkin, don't you think that the corner over there would look kind of cool if it had some kind of an antlered looking critter in the corner? Just, nothing big deal. It annoys the crap out of me because for hundreds of years, these two people cooperated and respected each other. Everyone always talks about how, Christians took Halloween. No. Christians were invited to celebrate Samhain with the Harthans. And the Christians went. I mean, they observed. Because obviously they're not going to, they're obviously not going to participate in the worship of a nature god. Of course not. But no, it was an invitation. And by the way, it went both directions. There were lots of Harthans who would go and observe Mass on All Saints' Day around 700, which, by the way, was November 1st, the day after All Hallows' Eve. But no, for hundreds of years, these people cooperated and were friends. And it annoys the crap out of me because you have armchair historians now who have an axe to grind against their obnoxious, mean Christian parents who didn't let them play D&D or some shit, who completely get history wrong.
It's because they have a stick up their butt. Jesus is here.
Should we tell him I was talking about him? Anyway. Hi, Jesus.
Yo.
Anyhow. Hi, Mom. Anyway. But yeah, no. Christians did not steal pagan holidays. They were invited to them. And because the Harthans were so busy migrating, because they were nomadic mostly, they didn't write shit down. Everything we know about the Harthans was written by Christian scribes. The name Harthan, by the way, is kind of funny. So the Harthans would often build like camps to live in, and they would kind of circle the wagons, so to speak, and it would all be structured around these big fire pits. Now the Christians looked at this and were reminded of a hearth, which is like kind of like a big oven. And by the way, back before we had electricity and AC and shit like that, the hearth was extremely important. There's a reason that there's an expression hearth and home. Because back then, when the only thing keeping you from freezing to death was either snuggling up to your Uncle Jesus or a big roaring fire.
Yeah, better look going to the roaring fire. I won't snuggle.
You better start rubbing sticks together, dude. Hello, by the way.
Yo.
You sound horrible.
I just got back from being kidnapped from aliens. It was a terrible decision on their part.
I told you 1,000 times to stay out of West Virginia.
You need
Too
to
good to listen to me.
You just need to go visit, man.
No. Anyway, now, and actually my mother brings up a good point, because now a lot of people think of the Satanic Panic in the 60s and 70s and so on. Now, what I find fascinating about this forgotten history of the origins of Halloween and Samhain and All Saints' Day and stuff is around the 1200s. Some people argue it was a little bit later in the 1300s, because everything bad happens in the 1300s, by the way, in case you didn't know. It's always the French's fault, and it always happened in the 1300s. And stay out of West Virginia. There you go. There's the vagrancy horror rules to live by.
I don't follow any of those.
Anyway, but actually, to be fair, we're not sure what happened. But there was a divide that happened between the Harthans and the Christians. A lot of people point their fingers at the Catholics because the Vatican, and here's where I'm going to piss everybody off. The Catholic Church, especially back then, was really more of a political party than an actual religious organization. And, well, you know what they say, politicians don't like competition. They kind of felt that the Christians had, or the pagans had, used up their usefulness. They had their big elaborate cities. They had their structure and control. The Roman Empire was kind of starting to come back as the Holy Roman Empire, so on and so on.
Said crusade.
The Crusades were going on. Again, thank the Catholics. What's that ominous glow in the distance? Anyway, and I personally consider this one of the great tragedies of history. The alliance between the Harthans and the Christians was completely torn to shreds. Catholics even coined a phrase, heathen, which was a corruption of the word Harthan. I mean, you ever notice, what's a heathen? Someone who commits heresy. Well, why aren't they Harrisons then? Because it was a corruption of the word Harthan. Now, to be fair, I'm not taking sides on this, because, I mean, I'm not that damn old. I don't know for sure what happened. We don't really know the details. It could have been the Harthans turned on the Catholics, too. It could have been mutually, dickery all around. But the fact of the matter is, even without that involvement, no, Christians didn't steal Halloween or Christmas or Easter or any of that stuff. They were invited into it by their friends, the Harthans, who they in turn invited into their stuff. It was not unusual to see a Harthan attending Mass. Or observing, obviously. And plus, a bonus side note real quick. One of the big arguments that Protestants brought against Catholics was actually, well, wait, if the Harthans are so bad now, you're going to tear down all those churches they built, right? You're going to tear down those castles they built for you, right? Because they came from bad people, right? Right?
You're assuming too much.
Well, I'm saying that's the thing. The Protestants brought that up. It was like, well, wait, you say that they're bad now. You didn't say they were bad a year ago. And you're not getting rid of all the benefits you took from them. You know what I mean? It's like, it's one of those things that annoys me how people black and white Christianity so much when it's like, it's not that simple, dude. It is really not that simple. Have there been assholes in Christianity? Absolutely. There have been assholes in atheism. There have been assholes in every flavor you could imagine. Everyone just look over to the left real quick.
One, I'm not that much of an asshole. I am a douchebag. Not an ass. Well, it depends. That being said, everyone has the right to believe in whatever the fuck they want. Go for it.
But anyhow.
Just don't force it on other people.
Yeah. But again, I wanted to get that out of the way because I am sick of hearing that absolute... I agree with my mom. Mutual dickery. That's what we're going to refer to it. Mutual dickery. I'm so sick of hearing that crap. They are not stolen holidays. In fact, some churches, again, Protestants, actually kept doing it in memory of the Harthans, their friends. That's literally what Harthan means, not Christian friend. You could go super technical and say that I'm a Harthan. He's a Harthan. This might shock you, but the bishop is not a Harthan. He's actually a Christian. But anyway, but yeah, that's something I just wanted to get out of the way before we talk about how Halloween has changed and evolved over the centuries. Actually, decades. We're going to be talking about recent Halloween history just for the sake of being able to do this in, in an hour and a half or so. Mm-hmm. But before that, now that everybody hates my stinking guts, because I just ticked off everyone, you, Senor Douchebag.
Fuck you.
You have brought some liquid pain for us to try, I assume.
I haven't tried them, so I don't know.
Well,
I bought them from a gas station, so.
Oh dear. Bishop, I think you're going to need to pray for me.
We don't have any of that here.
But yeah, no. Let's crack them out and let's try them. I know your stomach's been bugging you, Bishop. Are you going to join us, or?
Yeah.
I mean, you don't have, if you don't feel up to it, dude.
I'll do it.
Hi, Sean. Mr. Bishop is just dying laughing over here. I'm glad that I can make him laugh.
I'll do it.
I'm not going to twist your arm on this, but if you want to. Here, I'm going to set Famine down. Be a good girl.
Run away.
By the way, we have a new friend here, the Spirit of Halloween. But anyway, so what are these hot sauces?
Hot sauces?
All right, what's this one? The Taco Reaper. Oh, this is from, what is it called? Buc-ee's.
Yeah. Gas station.
Uh,
Pissing everybody off. And that's not that good, though. Gas station's okay.
Hello, friend.
Oh.
Alrighty. This is Taco Reaper. So what has this got in it?
Reaper.
Shake well before... Okay. Always pointed away from you.
So I'm not learning that lesson. Yeah.
I'm sorry it happened to you, but at the same time, it's like a cherished memory.
This Mexican keeps fucking up today.
What did you do?
Keeps forgetting his knife at home.
Seed Ranch Flavor Coast Smoky Ghost Hot Sauce.
Alright, I got the Reaper here, so... This is the one I grabbed first, so I guess this is the one we're going to try first.
Oh boy.
Alrighty.
This is Scorpion Reaper.
Oh, goody. And what's that, Ghost?
Seed Ranch Smoky Ghost Hot Sauce. The smoky and spicy one.
Alright, let me see here. Hold on, let me read this. Contains tomato, water, tomato paste, white vinegar, onions, fresh garlic, kosher salt, canola oil, taco seasoning, chili powder, cumin, dehydrated onions, paprika, Carolina Reaper, black pepper, pepper powder, cayenne pepper, spices, and oregano. Thank goodness for that oregano, right?
Yeah, I'm just saying if the first ingredients are the fucking peppers, it's gotta be meh.
You want to grab us some slices of bread to try this on? Alrighty. We haven't done one of these in a long time.
We've not.
It's been a while since anyone's gotten to see your beautiful face.
Oh yeah. That's an egg salad sandwich, by the way.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's what that was.
Alright.
One of the few times I've actually ever made one.
Alrighty. I'm gonna... Oh, it's double sealed. There. Oof.
It's all crusty.
Oh,
Oogie.
that actually doesn't smell terrible.
That smells like a salsa.
Yeah, I was gonna say thank you. Okay. It's a bit runny.
That's what she said.
No, that literally smells like a Tostitos salsa.
It does. Thank
Probably
you.
not gonna be spicy at all.
Sounds.
Again, for Christmas,
Mr. Bishop says that this sounds like it would be good on beans.
Oh, some Mexican beans right now.
Are we ready? 3, 2, 1.
Meh.
Good luck.
That's a spicy Tostitos salsa.
It is.
Not too spicy.
It stings. But yeah, it tastes like
I felt nothing.
It goes away quick.
I don't know, nothing there.
A little spicy.
That's a little disappointing.
it's kind of lingering for me. But yeah,
It was nice though. Chili dog?
yeah, I was gonna say kind of chilly.
Yeah, it's like a chili salsa. Not bad. It does linger. Okay, there it is.
Joseph will eventually repeat the hot sauce incident, but with a worse hot sauce, and it'll turn him into the spicy Avenger.
Oh gosh.
All right, what do we got?
We saved that one for last. This one.
That's for last. All right, what do we got here? Scorpion pepper. All right, let's look at this ingredient list real quick. Tomatoes, water, white vinegar, onions, tomato puree, fresh garlic, scorpion peppers, kosher, jalapenos, olive oil, and spices.
So this is what happens when I just buy things and I don't pay attention to the ingredients. Because me and the Cobalt have always said that the first ingredient isn't pepper, it's gonna suck.
Yeah, I think you want to put the cap on that one real quick.
This was pretty good. I mean,
It was okay. I could see it in a chili.
yeah, or eggs or Like a salsa pico de gallo.
Yeah.
I would not put that in my pizza.
Okay. Oh dear. Smells almost the same, but like a little sour.
Oh, this actually smells spicy.
Oh boy.
No, this one actually smells spicy.
I can't smell.
He can't smell.
Whoa, it's very runny. Be careful.
That's what she said. Breathe, bear, breathe.
No, I'm actually kind of... I've smelt the ghost one.
Pass
I
that.
think this is going to be the hottest. Just judging off smell.
No, it is running. It's like when people go to Taco Bell. Right after. It's because they don't have
you wanna
enough
put it
fiber in their diet.
You want to put a cap bag on it? Thank you.
Out of all the fast food restaurants,
All right.
Taco Bell is the one that has the most greens.
I'm not a fan of Taco Bell though, but anyway. Alrighty, are we ready?
Yeah.
3, 2, 1. Oh.
That's gross.
Oh dear.
That's just nasty.
It doesn't taste all that good, but the spice is there.
Oh, it stings.
I guess a little spicier than the first one.
Uh-huh.
Oh, what for?
It's all like smoky and dirty.
That's what she said. Damn it, now I want a chili dog. Wrapped in bacon.
Yeah, that one's a lot spicier, but it don't taste good either.
That is bad.
Catch the monkey.
Hold on a second, guys. I'm gonna get me some water.
Yeah, okay, that's spicy. Not pleasant. I didn't like it. Not the worst thing we've had on the show though.
Nah.
No, it didn't make me throw up.
Or sent you to a blackout.
It didn't make Obama president again.
No, I didn't like that.
No,
I
that
was
was,
pissed off a lot of people recently, which is fun.
that was actually bad.
Alright, let's try this next one.
Yeah, that was gross. That did not taste well, and yeah, the burn lingers.
Fortunately, I have this wonderful egg salad.
Fruit salad.
It's actually helping a lot. I do not like that.
My breakfast today was a pear and an orange with tahini. Which is great for me. It's like the happiest thing I've eaten.
Yeah, that was bad, and it's not going away.
Mm-mm.
So, how about that last one?
Smoky and spicy. Smoky ghost is spicy. Smoky, sweet, ghost pepper, and chipotle bring the heat.
Oh, well,
Dates
I
and
didn't know
carrots
that one.
sweeten things up without any added sugars.
I say not try the last one if that one's still messing with you. Especially with how your stomach's been.
If you want to sit this one out, man.
I guess I'll try it a little bit.
No. Spit it out.
Shake well. Includes white vinegar, water, chipotle peppers, carrots, dates, ghost pepper, garlic, apple, cumin, salt, and black pepper.
Cumin.
All right.
There's cumin in this?
There's been cumin in all of them. All right. Here we go. Oh dear.
See, I smelled that one. This one does not smell as bad as the one we just had.
Not really, but it's still got that sour vinegary taste. Or smell, I should say. Oh, this looks evil.
I'll try it. It's the last one. I should be fine.
We do have, I think, like 1 or 2 ice cream sandwiches still in the fridge.
Bear gets one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, this smells like chili beans. This actually smells decent.
See, I'm getting a strong vinegar still. I'm actually going to
I'm getting like a nice chili bean pinto from this.
swipe some of that.
Fucking chili beans.
I'm not doing a lot. But
This one, she bet. My mom bets this one's going to be fruity because it's got apple and dates in it. I do love dates.
See, this does.
Now
It
watch
smells like-
this one be like freaking that taco cat.
It smells like that. It smells chili. Like
Taco Cat.
That was a hot sauce we tried one time. I don't think you were there for that.
Yeah. I don't remember the name.
That one was freaking good. Oh,
good thing there's a lid on there.
Alright.
all right, gentlemen. Happy Halloween, everybody.
Happy Halloween.
Here we go. 3,
Happy Pagan Holiday.
2. Oh, shut up, Jesus. 1.
Never.
Oh, that's good. That tastes like chili. That's a nice pinto red kidney bean taste.
It's actually pretty sweet.
Thank you. Yes, it tastes like kidney beans. Not really getting any spice at all.
There's nowhere near as much spice.
That's a
Oh,
good
wait.
one.
It's building up in the back of my throat.
Probably should have done that one. Then the green one, then the red one.
Oh yeah, the red one.
The red one was bad. That smoky ghost, I actually think I kind of like that one.
No, the smoky ghost. There's not much spice at all. This
Was
pretty good amount of spice.
It tasted bad and it was really spicy.
No, that last one, that ghost pepper, I would say is the best.
I'm keeping that one. You can take the other 2.
I'm taking all of them.
Well, it's not like you bought them or anything.
I did too.
Nah. I don't know.
I can't see you guys driving all the way to fucking Buc-ee's.
What do you think, chat? Should Jesus let us keep the smoky ghost?
No, okay, that smoky ghost is actually good. It tastes like a 2 or 3 bean chili. I guess there was a little bit of spice, not much.
Teeny tiny. I mean, I could actually eat it, so.
That was my favorite, I would say.
Oh yeah, no, hands down, 3 was the best one.
Yeah.
The smoky ghost was actually edible.
And then the first one was good. It was kind of like a salsa.
It tasted like grocery store generic.
Tostito salsa.
Yeah. The third, the red one, the scorpion one.
Tasted like a can of chili beans. Actually decent.
Meh. I've had better.
I
Gas
liked
station sauce, hot sauce. It wasn't that bad.
the scorpion one was, in my opinion, bad. It tasted sour. It was very spicy. It stayed for a long time.
It was all smoky and musky and
Yeah,
dirty and
it tasted like you would expect an armpit to taste like.
yeah, like rub a piece of gravel on an armpit or something.
And just like that, we know something new about Kristoff.
I said it tastes like you would expect an armpit to taste like. Not that it does. But either way. Yeah, so.
Yeah, I mean, rating them. The Seed Ranch Smoky Ghost, I like that.
I wouldn't mind keeping that one.
Then this Taco Reaper, which it's a spicy generic salsa from like Safeway.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily bad. It's good.
Well, see, the problem is that we've tried, like some gourmet hot sauces here, and it's like comparing that to other stuff, it's not that good. It's weak.
Scorpion pepper, didn't really like it. It was really hot. Didn't really have. Well, it was fairly hot, not really, really hot, but it didn't really have the greatest taste to me.
Hi, Dad. You missed us eating hot sauces.
Which one would you say was your favorite?
They were all bland.
So then you don't mind us keeping the smoky goats.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
You can keep the Bucky stuff. Those are terrible.
See, when Jesus said he got hot sauces, I was worried about, like, extreme pain.
I didn't go to the flea market. And or make anything this time.
Yeah.
Unlike
I
last
can.
time where it was like, gosh.
I can.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, thanks for bringing these.
Why don't you do that in a couple weeks?
I will go. I should give me enough time to find some ghost peppers and some scorpions.
You know, my birthday is next month. What better way to celebrate the day of my birth, than by killing me with ghost peppers and reapers and shit?
Ugh.
But anyhow,
No, yeah. Put this in a chili.
Put
Have
that-
this for some, like, nachos.
and put that in the trash.
Okay, being realistic, maybe on a steak?
I'm sorry,
Hell
there's no
no.
saving that crap.
A good steak does not need any freaking type of sauce.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know about that one.
I feel like you're trying to be nice to it. It's like, no,
It is.
it's a bad hot sauce, dude.
Yeah, that was fun.
Huh. Bishop gonna get back in the corner and man the system and shit. But anyway. Yeah, fam back here, my girl. Anyway, though, I'm gonna be honest with you. A little disappointed.
Yeah, you're not the only one.
I
You're the one
was-
that spent money on them.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for you, dude. Maybe I'll get you that chili dog. Anyway.
Appreciate it right now.
I don't have any. I mean, I could order you one or something. You also got that egg salad sandwich, which is freaking really good. He made really good egg salad.
Okay.
Anyway, though, you missed, little guy. Go back over there with those goats. You can't throw it at him immediately after throwing it at me. That's too obvious.
He's just staring at me. I can see him on the screen.
Anyway, though. So. My dad, Chet, is saying Worcestershire sauce. Are you saying you think you could save one of these hot sauces by adding Worcestershire? Oh no, I know what he's talking. He's talking about steaks. You said a good steak shouldn't have sauce. My dad is saying, no, it should have a little bit of Worcestershire.
Bash? Eh.
Oh! You know what? You're staying over here now.
You got me that time.
Yeah, he did actually. I almost thought you were going to knock my hat off. Anyway, though. Now then.
Lee and Perrins. I've never had that brand. I'm assuming that's what.
Yeah.
Worcestershire sauce? Worcestershire sauce. with
Worcestershire.
steak is- It's alright.
Kobold's Corner used that in his meatloaf, I think, or his homemade barbecue sauce. I think.
He made good meatloaves.
I think he needs to come back to make us meatloaf.
I agree.
Anyway, though. Now, as I was saying, Halloween has gone through dozens upon dozens upon dozens of iterations, changes, transformations, etc., etc., etc. Now, we're going to kind of hop around a little bit here. You know what? Here, you can just hang out here so I can move around a little. Anyway, but I have my notes here on the computer for the first time in a long time.
He needed notes?
Uh-huh. Now then. Obviously one of the most iconic things about Halloween, and also one of the most drastically changed things about Halloween, is the jack-o'-lantern. Now, we talked a little bit about it, and one of the legends of Jack-o'-the-Lantern, how he tricked the devil into getting stuck up a tree by putting little crosses on the ground. That guy really is a loser, isn't he? I'm sorry, it's kind of funny. It's like Hollywood depicts the devil always as this like terrible evil force and so badass and dangerous, and then you actually read like Christian legends about him. He's a freaking dumbass. He got stuck up a freaking tree all night by a dude with some sticks. The worst part is he went up the tree on his own will. Jack just asked him, "Hey, can you get me that stick up there?" I mean, I've heard of getting run up a tree, but dude, when you do it to yourself. Anyway, but here's the funny thing. There's another version of how Jack got basically in the position he was in with the lantern and stuff. Now, this is particularly an Irish iteration of the legend, which is actually where we get the term Jack-o'-lantern. Jack-o' is usually used as a shortening for of. Jack of the Lantern. But anyway, and basically in this version, he's known as, don't laugh, Stingy Jack. Or sometimes Stinky Jack. Now, the legends go, basically he was a gambler. And he was a very bad...
Night toker.
No, he was a bad gambler. And he kept going to greater and greater extremes, asking for favors and taking loans and stuff from less and less pleasant people, because good, honest people weren't going to lend him money, because he always loses. He always loses at his gambling. And so, he had to go to more unpleasant people, like loan sharks and stuff. And it got to the point that a priest actually warns him, you keep going to worse people for loans and stuff. Eventually, the only person you'll have is the devil. And Jack was like, that's a great idea. He has loads of money.
It's a stupid idea.
Not...
Can anyone say retard?
I kind of preferred it when it was just an empty space next to me on the chair. Anyway. Well, no, see, here's the thing.
You missed me.
I did not miss you getting me freaking banned on YouTube for saying that. Anyway, though. No. See, here's the thing. Taking a loan out from the devil is a good idea if you're smarter than him. So, he actually called upon the devil to ask for loaned money. And the devil's like, sure, buddy, I'll give you a bunch of gold coins to gamble. But when you spend that last coin, then your soul is mine. And Jack was like, okay. So he took all the coins that the devil gave him. He took one coin aside and put it in his left pocket. Now, this is important. He put it in his left pocket because he was right-handed. So naturally, he reached into his right pocket all the time. So he basically tricked himself to try and forget about the coin. He also fiddled with it a little, but we'll get to that in a minute. And so he's going to go spend all this money, obviously doing what Stingy Jack does. You're going to gamble it. And the devil, obviously, he wants to collect that soul. So he disguised himself and went to the table to play games with Jack. Now, obviously, the devil is going to cheat at the gambling games, and he was winning over and over and over. And the devil was like, okay. Again, the devil pretending he wasn't the devil is like, well, you lost all your money, hand it over. And he goes, and Jack goes, wait, I have one more coin. Let me gamble that one coin. And the devil's like, oh boy, I'm finally going to win something in one of these goddamn stories. This is going to be great. Okay. So, once again, Jack loses their game. Devil holds out his hand. Pay up. Give it to me. Jack reaches into his pocket. Wait, hold on. I can't find my last coin. The devil accuses him of stalling. He's getting angry at him. He says, okay, hold on. Wait, nope. It's here in my left pocket. He pulls it out and sets it in the devil's hand. And that's when the devil sees that he etched a cross onto the last coin. So, of course, the devil...
The value of the money.
Actually, he made it more valuable in spades, quite literally. Because, obviously, the devil can't stand the sight of the cross. He freaks out, drops the coin. Jack snatches it and goes, well, I mean, if you don't want it, I guess I'll just keep it. I mean, okay. I mean, hey, you gave it back to me. And, of course, the devil's angry. He's like, mother, you're going to spend that coin eventually. Even if you don't give it to me, you're still going to spend it. And Jack was like, yeah, right. No one's going to take a coin that's all scratched up and stuff. And he went about his merry way. Years and years later, just like the other Jack version, he eventually does die. He stands before the pearly gates and they go, hey, dude, yeah, no. You lived a horrible life of sin and gambling. You can't come in here.
Says who?
Says the doorman, St. Peter. You can't come in. So he's like, oh, crud.
I want to talk to your manager.
Now I'm in trouble. So he has to go to hell. Here's the problem. When he gets to hell, the devil's like, oh, now you're in for it. You're damned. You're mine now. Jack reaches into his left pocket, pulls out an old coin with a cross scratched on it, and goes, about that, big guy. Our deal was you get my soul when I spend every one of the coins you gave me. I still got it. And here's the funny part. Just like in the other version of Jack-o'-lantern, all the damned souls, all the demons, stop what they're doing and laugh at Satan. Because Jack got one over on him. Jack, he can't go to hell. The devil can't take him. And the devil, of course, is once again embarrassed, ashamed. The damned souls are laughing at him. He is beyond furious. And he's like, get out, go away, leave, be gone. And so the same thing happens in the other version. He has to wander Earth, but Jesus decides to do him a solid and gives him a lantern.
The fuck I did.
Anyway, and he becomes known as Jack of the Lantern. Because he can't go to hell, he can't go to heaven. But he kind of did a solid by making a fool of the devil, so he gets the lantern so he can see at least. But that's another version of Jack of the Lantern. It always centers on the same thing, though. The devil gets humiliated because some dude who should, by all accounts, be a dumbass, actually gets over on him. It plays on the reference that that Satan is afraid of the cross. He can't look at it. He's scared of it. And again, it always ends with everyone in hell laughing at Satan, which I guess earns you brownie points. But either way, now
You made him look like a fool, but you still can't come through the pearly gates.
we need to do a cooking episode. And yeah, happy Hallows Eve, Dad.
Kobold's corner isn't here, so.
Yeah. Oh, that's an interesting question. Donson brings a good point. It might actually be pronounced stingy. Stingy Jack. I'm not sure. I've never heard it said out loud. I've only read the stories. I think it's pronounced stingy, but it might be stingy. I'm not sure. You'd have to say it with an Irish accent, I guess. Stingy. Stingy. The only Irish accent I can do isn't actually Irish. It's a Scottish character. It's Fat Bastard. But either way. Now, the thing about the jack-o'-lantern is that I want to point something out. in the original stories, it's not a jack-o'-lantern as we know it. It's just Jesus gives him a lantern. And I'm going to be completely honest with you, I'm not sure where the shift changes from being just a normal lantern to specifically being a pumpkin. Although we can tell when jack-o'-lanterns became pumpkins, because before that, way long time ago, we're talking like as far back as we can actually tell, jack-o'-lanterns were originally made using things like turnips and beets. And we all know the image. Bishop, I think I sent it to you. That picture. There it is. That guy. See that one in the middle there? Everyone's going to hate me. That's fake. So the truth of the matter is, we don't have any jack-o'-lanterns from the 17 or 1800s. They were made from beets and turnips.
Which rot.
And they've all rotted away. But that was actually made much more recently, obviously. And it's more of a assumption of how they would have looked. What's funny is it's actually wrong. So, I don't know if you've ever handled a candle, but finding a candle that actually would fit inside of a beet or a turnip, not the easiest thing in the world. The truth of the matter is, actually, most turnips and beet style jack-o'-lanterns were actually more, ironically, fitting with Halloween. They were masks. They would be cut in half and hollowed out. And you'd put the candle behind it, and it would kind of project the face onto a wall. Or, what they would also do is they would kind of peel and carve into it, especially with beets. We had a picture of the beet ones. There we go. That's more realistic to what a beet jack-o'-lantern would have looked like. Obviously, that's also a modern thing, but anyway, they would often just shave a little face onto the jack-o'-lantern. Because the beet outside was such a stark different color than the insides. You would be able to see the face. Also, beets have a very dark meat to them. It looks shadowy and kind of creepy.
Witchcraft. They're works of the Satan. They need to be burned at the stake.
We'll get to that in a second. And actually, what's funny is that, in spite of what this one says, by the way, you're wrong. Actually, much like the grotesques and the gargoyles that the Harthans built on churches and castles, they were meant to be protective. And yes, very often, actually, these jack-o'-lanterns were gifted to Christians as a show of good faith. And likewise, the Christians would accept them to again show good faith, just like they would give crosses to the Harthans. It is so kind of weird to think, and kind of funny in a way, that once upon a time there were people, their whole job was just carving crosses. Like that was a specific thing people did. You know what I mean? It's like, well, what do? You're a woodworker? Well, no, I'm a cross maker. Specifically, exclusively, they made crosses. That's how important they were to those cultures. We talked about it last year around Halloween time. Saint Christopher, he meets a cross maker when he's starting out his journey to find Jesus. I don't know, it just always struck me as weird. It's like, back then, things were so simple. You had someone whose whole career in life was making one single thing. You know what I mean? Like, you had shoemakers, you had basket weavers. Specifically, that's what you learn to do. That is your skill, is you make baskets or crosses.
But like butchers and whatnot, like,
well,
they
yeah.
got to the point where, because most last names weren't that common back then, so whatever your trade was became your last name.
Yeah. Joe Butcher. Heck, there's even people whose last name is like Butcher and Stitcher and Sewer, things like that. But I don't know, it always just struck me as kind of funny. Yeah, as my mother points out, pumpkins being jack-o'-lanterns are really kind of an American thing. Mainly because, one, it's much easier to fit a candle inside of a pumpkin and make it a lantern. And two, most pumpkins have big, wide surfaces that you can carve all kinds of incredibly beautiful and intricate stuff into. Which is really awesome. There's some really pretty pumpkin carving stuff.
Yeah, too bad we're not that coordinated to do some shit like that.
Oh, jeez. I don't trust us with sharp objects carving pumpkins on the show.
Myself with sharp objects.
And my mom says, don't say witchcraft like it's a bad thing. And I agree. A lot of our understandings of medicine today come from herbology and stuff like that, which, yep, pioneers, the Harthans, that was something they specialized in. But anyhow, as I was saying, Halloween never ran away. It always had a form all over the world. But really what we call Halloween really does owe its existence to America. And I can hear the Europeans bemoaning, saying that's not true. Yes, it is. I'm sorry, it's true. And one of my favorite parts of Halloween is actually something that is purely an American concept. People try and claim otherwise, and they can make all the arguments they want. But here we're going to talk about this. The haunt. Haunted houses. Corn mazes. Hay bale rides. Things like that. Oh yeah, no, those...
I've never been to a corn maze.
I've been to hay mazes.
Hay mazes are hard because you can't walk through the walls and just get out, like a corn maze. But anyway, now, a lot of Europeans try to claim that back in 1803, how do you pronounce this name? Hold on a second here. There was an English... Hold on, I'm going to need both hands here. Hold on a second. There was an English...
You dropped her pumpkin head.
Let me see if I can find... I know I can find the name.
How dare you?
Hold on. Here we go. Toussaint Scandeles was a wax worker. She actually had a little wax museum. And she became famous because of the, quote, Chamber of Horrors. Now, the Chamber of Horrors was a special part of her wax museum, because it specialized in talking about the French Revolution, which is ironic because if you ask the French people about the French Revolution, they'll look at you and go, which one? Seriously, France has had more revolutions than probably any other country on the planet. They don't know what the... See, that's the thing about the French. They're always in bad moods because they're French.
It's because they suck. Look at the food.
And they'll find any excuse to fight back when they had a spine. But anyway, what is that ominous?
For a civilization that conquered the world, and mostly the areas where they use spice, they have no idea what they are.
Anyway, though, now the thing that was interesting about the Chamber of Horrors was that her wax figures were very lifelike because she used corpses. See, our girl Toussaint here, she actually made some friends with, I'll just say it, with executioners. And after they would guillotine somebody, she would have them save the head so that she could dip it into wet wax and make a death mask mold. So when you went into the Chamber of Horrors and you saw Maria Antoinette's wax figure being beheaded, that's because it was a wax model made from Maria Antoinette's...
That's my Uncle Jeff!
Yes! Fun side note, though.
Uncle Philip!
Fun side note, the Chamber of Horrors actually still stands today. obviously they got rid of the wax figures that were made using real corpses.
Weak.
But a lot of Europeans try to say that was the original haunt for Halloween time. That was the original. Bullshit.
Bullshit. If it was true, you would have kept the fucking heads. But you didn't. Because you're French.
Anyway, no. The truth of the matter is that haunted houses... Now, some people, they try to argue that in 1915, there was a sideshow attraction that traveled around Britain. And it was, again, some people try to claim it was the first example of a haunted house. Honestly, I have to argue it was more what we would call a circus fun house. You know what I'm talking about. The fun house where the mirrors are all bent and wacky and there's colors and jump scares sometime. Things like that. Not really a dedicated haunt, though. The real first haunt is, United States of America. And it comes about actually because of something kind of sad. A lot of people argue that it was made, haunts and haunted houses and hay bale rides, things like that, are actually from the Great Depression. I don't think I need to elaborate why the Great Depression was a bad thing or sad. But, yeah, it was pretty awful. Especially because a lot of the stuff that this happened, when these ideas were cracked, was actually 1939. So we're talking World War II. Everything was in low supply. And basically the government's answer was to, well, just use less. Thanks, government.
I'm from the government. I'm here to help.
Is the worst thing you will ever hear in your life. But anyway, now the thing is, Halloween was already a thing, obviously. But back then, trick-or-treating wasn't really a thing you did. I mean, from the perspective of the times, that was a very wasteful thing if you think about it. Making costumes, the cloth to make your ghost costume could be used to make a soldier's uniform. And by the way, real quick, that's more important than you think. Yeah. One of Germany's biggest problems in the tailgate end of World War II was the fact that they used anything they could get a hold of, and so a lot of German soldiers wouldn't recognize their own dudes because they were not in a uniform. So actually, it is kind of important to, know who the hell you're standing next to when you need to go to battle. But anyway, and the problem is well, kids still want to do stuff on Halloween. Kids, it's a mischief night. It's supposed to be fun. But what do? You get very, very clever.
And creative.
Mm-hmm. Lots of little communities would gather around houses, and they would basically make what were called haunt trails. Sometimes they do hay bale rides, where the kids would all get into the back of this big wagon with hay and pumpkins and stuff like that, or apples. And Jeffro, the local farmer, would go around on his big old tractor and take them through the town. All the while, Grandpa Felber tells everyone, ghost stories about those houses. Oh yeah, the old Nielsen's house. They probably never told you about this, but 4 people were hung in there. Oh, hi, Timmy Nelson. How are you? Yeah, no, right in that room right there. Oh, that's your bedroom? I wouldn't want to sleep in that bedroom. 4 people were hung in there. Of course, most of the stories were BS, but it was still spooky fun.
Yeah, back in the day, they really had to get creative to do stuff.
Oh,
Not
yes.
just that, but like food, everything else, whatever jobs they could get.
Yeah, but here's my personal favorite thing. We actually have an artifact. Hold on a second here. Oh, no, she dropped her hat. Hold on. Need to fix this.
Is there any more? Is there any Coke?
Yes. Here we go. So, This is actually a quote taken from a pamphlet that was written out in 1939 by a coordinator who was trying to basically direct his town to make a haunt. And tell me if this doesn't sound like the most awesome idea you've heard for a DIY project thing. Hear me out. It's not going to be super extravagant, because obviously it's the Depression.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah. No, tell me this doesn't sound like the stupidest fun thing to do. Especially knowing you're going to unleash this onto little children. I know that's going to be a selling point for you. I quote, "An outside entrance leads to a rendezvous with ghosts and witches in a cellar or attic. Hang old furs and strips of I can speak, I swear. Raw liver on the walls, where one has to feel his way through the dark steps. Produce weird moans and howls coming from dark corners, with damp sponges and hairnets hanging from the ceiling to touch his face. Doorways should be blockaded so that guests must crawl on their hands and knees through dark tunnels. At the end, they will hear plaintive meows and see black cardboard cutouts of cats illuminated from the outside."
That sounds amazing. I wonder how many children they made cry.
See, that sounds freaking awesome. Although I can see some people arguing, well, that'd be a waste of liver in the Depression. People didn't eat liver back then. Liver was like the last thing you ate because you absolutely had to.
And on top of that, you have to look at it. It's America. Here in the States, most people won't eat liver. It's not a common thing to eat.
Oh yeah, no.
Neither is tripe.
Tripe. Which would be amazing to do that with the trick with like, because you get the idea. It's the idea of, you're feeling around in this dark room and the walls feel organic. It feels like you're moving through something alive. Tripe would do a really cool job at that illusion.
Because like certain dishes.
Also, by the way, I don't mean to keep interrupting you, but I kind of do. Liver stinks.
Yeah, it does.
Remember, we are scaring the pants off these poor little children, and we need it to be as undesirable an experience as possible to get the maximum scare from them. So absolutely, you're going to use a stinky piece of meat that you probably wouldn't cook with anyway. But I still like the idea of using the tripe.
Yeah. Again, like liver, tripe, the head, the tongue, the eyeballs.
Oh, gee. Could you imagine that you're crawling through the dark and you feel something in front of you? It's a freaking pig's head.
Like, yeah, most of that stuff isn't commonly eaten here in the U.S. unless you're a Native American tribe. Because they didn't waste anything. Everything was used.
Yeah.
You were Hispanic.
Well, yeah, they still do a lot of dishes with
Hell yeah.
pig cheeks. Dude, no. My job at a Safeway, I get probably once a week somebody asking if we have pig cheeks. And it's like, we don't get the heads. We don't have that.
We have the heads up in my store. My favorite dishes from my culture: lengua, tacos, or burritos, menudo, tripe, with pig feet.
I've never had pig feet.
Tacos made from the cow head.
They refer to it as cheek, the cheeks specifically. Supposedly the cheeks are really good on pork.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever tried that though.
It just takes forever to cook.
But anyway, no. So basically, because trick-or-treating was really wasteful, they created a whole new way to celebrate Halloween. And again, the Europeans can talk about their horror chambers all they want. No. The haunt, as we understand it, what the haunt is, the idea that there is this attraction you go to and it will scare the out of you. That's American. End of story. And it evolved and changed. It became more intricate. Companies, literal companies, formed into creation just to do haunts every year.
One of the big ones here in Colorado is the 13th floor. That thing runs year round.
It does.
Halloween. This year, I think it started in little late last month. It's going to go until November 8th, November 10th.
Yeah.
They do.
But
do a Christmas one. They're open for Valentine's Day. They're open periodically throughout the year. It's just not just
yeah.
small season.
Here's a mind blower. 2016. In 2016, there were over 2,700, meaning 2,700 different haunts across America. And roughly speaking, if you take all the money that they accumulated and more or less divvied it out evenly, each one rocked in about $3 million in profit. Haunt industries, companies that make animatronics and masks and props.
They have conventions.
They have whole conventions. MSNBC back in 2016 appraised the haunt industry as roughly being a $300 million industry. People were making absolute bank before the pandemic. And here's the thing I think is kind of funny. A lot of people modernly look at things like the 13th floor.
There's that one in Colorado. I think it's in Colorado Springs. You have to sign a waiver before you can even go in.
Yeah. A lot of people say that a lot of haunts actually got too close to the sun. They pulled an Icarus and they went to like traumatizing levels of being too much. But here's the thing. The pandemic kind of knocked a lot of those out. And you're seeing a lot more haunts that sound like what we were talking about just a minute ago from the Depression era. Very simple, small things.
Yeah,
and personally, I'd argue that's a good thing.
There was a few where you had to sign a waiver and everything, and they would give you a safe word, but that was one that you would go to for this said experience.
Yeah.
They would lock you up and everything.
Oh yeah, no, they put you in a trunk, they like tie you up with duct tape and shit, like full on kidnap you.
Yeah, there was one in Oregon. Yeah. I forgot what it was called. But yeah, you had to sign a waiver. They gave you a safe word because it was like a full contact.
Full contact, hands-on horror, as some people call it.
I don't remember the name or where it was at, but like you have to sign a waiver before you go in because that's how scary it was. Because they had someone have a heart attack going through it, and after that, you had to have to sign a waiver.
Yeah.
And on the waiver, it said if you have a heart problem, depending on what kind of medical issues, they wouldn't even let you in.
Yeah, they would say it's too much for you. And the funny thing is a lot of those, the pandemic kind of knocked some of them out. And you're seeing a return to the, DIY, the dude down the street is doing a haunted house in his garage thing for the kids to come visit, stuff like that. Which I would argue is an improvement. Like, look, the cool animatronics and the hands-on stuff, that's all cool. Don't get me wrong. Absolutely. But at the same time, there's something much more, in my opinion, special about the more rustic, simple, cardboard cut out of a cat, crawl through your hands and knees on basically a cardboard fort. Those are much more special to me. And that's coming from someone who's worked in a haunted house. I was in a haunted house. But anyway, yeah, the haunt is something truly uniquely American. And of course, like everything that America comes up with, everyone else has to try and copy it and then claim that they were doing it for hundreds of years before America. No, you weren't. Shut the fuck up. Japan has a budding haunt industry, actually. They have, bear with rough translation, okay, spooky bars, which are basically Halloween all year round, where you actually are expected to show up to the bar in a costume. Mm-hmm. They will not let you in. They're like
they have specific bars over there. There's
they have all kinds of weird
there's one
stuff.
I want to go to. It's like all the women are.
No.
Their gym, they work out. They have it's like a gym one, but it's.
Why let him on my show? Anyway,
there's nothing naughty about it.
Oh, bullpucky.
No, there's not.
If you were involved, if you are interested in it even slightly, there is something you are not.
Muscle mommy.
How clothed are muscle mommies?
Not
completely.
Conan.
The only thing that they'll show are their muscles. Their arms and their back, and that's it.
Okay, if you burn my couch with your pants, I am going to throw you out.
I'm not lying.
Uh-huh.
I believe you. I mean, that could be cool.
There's anime theme bars specifically for specific animes.
Yeah. But like I was saying, Japan has a budding haunt scene, and of course it tries to claim that, well, no, Japan had haunts for no. Stop it. Okay, there's no conversation to be had about haunted houses in Japan before the 2000s. You know why? Because we did it first, and we made it fucking awesome. Which is fine, by the way. I am all for haunted houses all across the world. I would love to see different cultures take on having a haunted house. Just give the devil his due. We came up with it first. Because we were dirt floor poor. And we were going to have a celebration in Halloween come hell or high water or high inflation. There, rant over. Anyway. And before we end this, I did want to bring this up because this is something that you wanted to talk about specifically. The evolution of costumes.
Man, shit used to look so much better back in the day. It was more creepy.
I have to make an argument here. I actually sent you a photo of an example. This one, there it is. So this picture was cited as being from 1959. Trick-or-treating really did start after the Second World War. And costumes were very bare-bone, very simple.
Most of them were just made at home.
Yeah, most of them were pillowcases and sheets and stuff like that. Paper mache was actually very common and popular until the mid to late 1960s, which is where we get the emphasis on those horrifying, hideous, hard plastic masks. What's funny is that a lot of times there'd be no other costume. It was just your mask. And then, in the late 70s, early 80s, we see a flip. You see a lot of costumes being the emphasis. Wearing Superman's outfit or a cowboy costume. Batman was...
The comics by then were becoming more...
prevalent.
Less government.
Oh, yeah.
Less military. More towards the people.
Yeah. And also, I want to point out something real quick. Also, another thing is that because the masks went kind of away, actually, and there was a rise of like using face paint or very simple masks. Like Batman used to have a cloth mask over the upper half of his face, a hood, things like that. Because we tried those damn masks and we couldn't freaking breathe. Those masks were a death trap. Some people even actually did get hurt by those things because they would be hard to breathe in. Or they obscured your vision and things like that.
Especially with being a kid running to each house to get your candy and whatnot.
Oh, yeah, and you better hurry, by the way. You better hurry up, because even if it's Halloween, you still need to have your butt in bed by 9 o'clock, mister. So you better double time it. Knees to chest, bitch.
I don't know who those kids were. My ass was always out late.
I'm not shocked. Anyway, though. Now... And there's always someone who has a stick up their butt about how Halloween costumes have evolved since then. Modernly, we have all kinds of insane stuff. You have inflatable costumes, so it looks like you're riding a horsey. You have lewd stuff. You have religious costumes. You know what's funny is one of the most popular costumes at Spirit Halloween in 2018 and 19? Jesus Christ. I'm not joking. Jesus Christ, 2 years running, was one of the top 10 costumes at Spirit Halloween stores. And of course, yes, we have the rise of the sexy costume. And a lot of people get up their ass. Yeah, my mom brings up a good point. A lot of times they had very small slits, actually, just to breathe through or even see through. Sean's going to a costume party. Awesome. But here's the thing. A lot of people sit there and they try to say that, these kind of costumes are bad. I'm just going to say the quiet part out loud. Hold on. Ready? Go fuck yourself.
Just because you can't pull it off fucking hippopotamus doesn't mean everybody else can.
Is that clear?
Top of that being said, just because someone's wearing a sexy costume, something like that.
Provocative?
That doesn't give consent, you goddamn freaks.
Yeah. And see, here's the thing. I'd be willing to actually take a half a step forward and say, yeah, sure, maybe there's a situation where a sexy nurse costume or something like that is not appropriate. Sure.
But like,
so don't go to that party.
Yeah.
The beautiful thing about Halloween, the reason that, in my personal opinion, the reason that we put up with all the bother of actually going through this stuff, dragging the kids around the neighborhood, going to house to visit the neighbors that we refuse to talk to half the damn time so they can get a little piece of candy, going to parties with people that you don't like in a costume that cost you $120 because you're going to wear it once. All this stuff. The reason that we keep all these things around is because of the fact that Halloween is one of the very few truly global things. And it's that way because there's a million ways to celebrate Halloween. Whether you call it All Saints' Day, whether you call it Samhain, Halloween, All Hallows' Eve, whether you do seances, whether you bob for apples, whether you play frickin' Fortnite. Shut up. You know, regardless of what you do, there's a million ways to celebrate Halloween and appeal. Whoa! I didn't know you could turn this off. Anyway, there's a million aspects to Halloween, and there's a million ways to enjoy of them. And that's why it's stuck around, because everyone can find a Halloween version that they care about, that is special to them, that they enjoy. And sure, some things butt heads. I can imagine most people would not appreciate attending an All Saints' Day Mass in a sexy nun costume. That probably wouldn't go over very well. You know? And sure, a costume that makes it look like your head's fallen off and sprays guts and blood everywhere probably shouldn't be taken to an elementary school Halloween party. No. But there is a kind of party where you can go in those costumes. There is a way to celebrate and hold a mass for All Saints' Day. There are ways to go and celebrate Samhain, things like that. That's what makes Halloween truly special, is that you can't put it in a box. I know Spirit of Halloween tries very hard to every year, but the fact of the matter is there's a million different Halloweens. And so, regardless of how you celebrate it, let me say, from all of us here, yes, even him, happy All Saints' Day, happy Halloween, happy All Hallows' Eve. Happy whatever you find to bring happiness in, honestly, a pretty bleak time of year. Everything's dying, it's cold as hell.
Says you, it's my favorite time of year.
I am not shocked. The season that everything is dying and withering away and it's cold and dark all the damn time.
Hey man. You're talking to someone who used to go to haunted houses by himself, would have to get grouped up with other people, and I would be going out of my way looking for the actors, because for some reason, the one that always gets scared the most is hiding behind me, and I'm just like...
Well, you want to know a little secret? As someone who worked at a haunted house, at least the house that I worked at, Parkwell Manor, which I don't know if it still exists, but it's it was down in Indio. Yes, Sean brings a good point. Some people watch scary movies all damn night. But anyway, real quick, one of the things they told me is when there's a group of people, don't go for the front or the back.
Go for the middle.
Go for the middle. Break them apart. Split them up. Divide and conquer.
So, my favorite haunted house one is, I went to Seattle, and we were looking up haunted houses and whatnot. And we found one that was, that used to be a morgue. And it got converted into a haunted house. It was me, my buddy, and his partner at the time. And we got teamed up with this girl, her boyfriend, and their third wheel. So, me and the third wheels got put together. So I ended up being in the front. Her and her friend and her boyfriend were in the middle, and then my buds were in the back. Oh, we're going through. She gets scared. She's holding onto my back, and I just see like some of the actors, and I'm like, bro.
Signaling.
And I don't say. She's like, "You'll let me know if someone's around the corner." I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
So I'll share a story from when I worked at Parkville before we close out the show tonight. I was known as the man in red. So I had this really weird U-shaped room that had a fake wall in the middle of it. And there were these red spotlights all over the ceiling. So from whatever angle you approached in this room, I was this vaguely human-shaped blob in a red light, a black silhouette. And I personally loved to tuck into a corner because the way the lighting was, I was perfectly in a shadow, and the lights were so bright, it darkened everything else, and so people wouldn't see me. And they would always say, how'd you get that guy to just like melt out of the wall? He just literally came through the wall. And there was no trap door. I think it was just me hiding in a shadow. But there was this one time, it was a couple, a guy and a girl, and I jump out of the wall. And now keep in mind, I had this hunk of metal that was vaguely cleaver shaped. Because again, all they see is a silhouette. They didn't need to give me an actual cleaver. This thing weighed like, a dozen pounds. It was heavy as hell. I would often actually hold it two-handed just to bring it up. But anyway, I would slam it against the wall and make the goddamn building shake. But anyway, so I jump out of the wall, and he pushed her into me. So in reflex, I drop the cleaver and grab onto her. Because, I mean, from my perspective, she's falling.
Yeah.
So I grab her, and she's just staring at me bug-eyed. He is gone, by the way. He runs. And she just mutters, he left me. And I'm standing there holding her. And I couldn't stop myself. I said, it looks like it. And she's literally like, no. And I'm just like holding her like, what do you do in the situation? Because obviously, safety of the guests is always the priority. You don't want to actually hurt anybody.
You then scare her by saying, I'm going to turn you into a sandwich now. But
No. What I actually did was I was like, can you stand? And she's like, yeah. Okay, so I let her go. And she backed up. And I said, he went around the corner. And she literally just starts marching after him. Speaking, I don't know what she was saying, but she was talking, it was Spanish. And she was
I have a good idea.
And I literally just picked up my cleaver and backed up into my little corner because I could hear more people coming. And I'm just like, I think I just broke up a couple.
No, he did that. But my favorite, like, so after I pointed it out to the actor, he popped up, scared her. She screamed so loud, and just took off. And then her friend's like, "What happened?" I'm like, and I'm fucking too busy dying laughing. And then my buddy's like, "You did it, didn't you?" I'm like, "Yeah." And then her friend takes off after her. The boyfriend's like, "Fuck," and he looked at me. He's like, "The fuck?" I'm like, "Bro, I do this every fucking year with random ass people." And then he looked at my buddy. He's like, "Yeah, he does." So then we go, and like about 3-4 rooms later, we find her. She's in the fucking corner, just bawling.
Oh.
It's great.
So fun side note, real quick. Parkville Manor, I don't know if they do this at other places, but they did it at Parkville. They intentionally turned up the AC really high so it was cold. And supposedly that's because when you're cold, you're more, primed to be scared and stuff. Actually, it was so we could tell when people pissed themselves.
Yeah.
They would steam. There'd be steam from them peeing themselves. So we knew, okay, don't touch them. That's unsanitary. But anyway, everybody, we'll see you next week. I've been your host, Kristoff N. Chester. This is Jesus. We got the bishop in the corner.
Hi.
Happy Halloween. Happy Samhain. Happy All Saints Day. And keep checking the shadows.
And look up haunted house videos of couples running away. Yeah. Especially the Japanese ones.